In this Circuits of the Past video, Hermann shows you the layout of the old Sachsenring in Germany. Today's Sachsenring is most famous for the annual German Grand Prix for the MotoGP. But did you know that this was originally an 8.73 kilometres or 5.425 mile long street circuit? Let's dive in. Today, most of the original layout is still there. Only the start-finish has actually been demolished for the construction of the new permanent track, so we'll start our lap a little further onwards. It all started on May 26, 1927, when the first races were held for motorcycles at the square-shaped street circuit. But they didn't call it the Sachsenring then. It was called the Badberg-Vierecksrennen. Badberg is the name of the city 200 kilometres away from the circuit, so why they use this name it's not really clear. It kind of reminds me how everything in the south of England sticks London in its title for literally no reason at all. If you know why Badberg was used, please pop it down in the comments below the video. Vierecksrennen is actually more easier to decipher. That's German for square track races. It's a difficult one to pronounce, and I've likely potatoed it, so let's bring in our fearless leader Hermann, who will teach us how to pronounce it, and you'll just have to put up with me afterwards. Come on Hermann, give it a go.
Badberg-Vierecksrennen.
Thank you Hermann, oh sagey one. Hermann's full name is Hermann Lischmeyer. He's the founder of the Circuits of the Past website and YouTube channel. He's also the driver who makes all of the onboard footage of the old Sachsenring. My name's Simon Smith. I just do the voiceovers. I've got a gaming channel called Higher Plane Games on YouTube if you're interested. As you can see, this part of the old Sachsenring ran through a village by the name of Hohenstein-Ernsthal. For the last races on the old street circuit, they built a chicane here to increase safety. But let's go right the way back again to the May 26, 1927. The first ever races here were visited by over 140,000 spectators. Whew. After this success, the event continued for another year later. The second event, though, was not quite as successful. Sadly, there were several accidents, with several drivers getting injured and even killed. Because of this tragedy, the event was then banned by the government. In 1934, they decided to make a fresh start of things and got permission to organise races again on the square layout around Hohenstein-Ernsthal. It became the name Sachsenring in 1937, a name that would quickly become an established name in motorsport. The name Sachsenring came from the name of the state of Saxony and German Saxon. In 1936 and 1938, the European Grand Prix was held on the track, which you could kind of compare in importance to today's MotoGP. However, when in 1939 World War II broke out, all motorsport in Europe stopped. After the war, the Sachsenring was in the Russian-occupied zone, which would become the DDR, also known as East Germany. We now approach the most spectacular corner on the old Sachsenring, the MTS corner. As you can see, Hermann's really enjoying the run through these corners, but unfortunately a slow driving pickup interrupted the joy and the fun. As early as 1949, the spectators streamed back to the Sachsenring in droves. In 1950, the Sachsenring hit dizzy heights when on race day on Sunday alone it attracted 480,000 visitors. Cool. Imagine that at a racetrack today. From 1961 up to 1972, the East German Grand Prix was held on the old Sachsenring as part of the Road Race World Championship. The fastest lap ever on the old Sachsenring was driven by 15-time world champion Giacomo Agostini of Italy in 1968 on a 500cc MV Augusta. His lap time of 2:55.4 equals to an average speed of 176.798 km per hour, or, in old money, 109.857 miles an hour. In 1971, the 250cc race was won by West German Dieter Braun, with many spectators singing the German national anthem. This, and the previous round of encouragement from Braun, was viewed very critically by the East German government. It led to the withdrawal of the World Cup status from the race in 1972. The official reasons were a lack of security measure and increased costs. After the end of the World Cup races, forced by the state, it became a quieter life for the track for a while, but the races for 2 and 4 wheels continued as usual, but only with Eastern European participants. It wasn't until 1990 that races returned for everyone again. For this edition, a chicane was built in the section through the village, but it was only used for that last year before having a break again. The track led directly through the village of Hohenstein-Ernstthal, as we saw earlier in the video. That always gave the races a very special flair, but because there were 3 deaths during that last season, the passage through the village was no longer found acceptable. To continue racing, a plan was put in place to build a new permanent racetrack. The new Sachsenring then opened in 1996, and a German Grand Prix for motorcycles, now MotoGP, returned in 1998. Originally, the permanent circuit used the start-finish straight incorporating a part of the old street circuit, but during a huge renovation in 2001 by Hermann Tilke, my god, that man gets everywhere! This part was also demolished and redesigned. What a surprise. That's why we can't do a complete lap at this old track anymore. By the way, if you want to support Circuits of the Past to keep memories alive of these lost racetracks, you can now join us on Patreon, and your name will appear in the videos. You can also make a single tip or donations to paypal.me/Circuits of the Past. Here Hermann had to slow down because of the speed cam ahead. It's there for a good reason though, because this section invites you to put pedal down to the metal. Now we turn left to the final corner of the old Sachsenring. This final corner's called the Quickenbeck corner. Here the old track ends, and in front we can see the new one. And on our left hand side is still the old control tower as a cool reminder from the past. So here ends our lap on the old Sachsenring. If you'd like to learn more about other bygone circuits of the past, please watch our other YouTube videos or visit the website www.circuitsofthepast.com. There you can also download a free ebook about 7 abandoned racetracks that you can visit legally. For now, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell so that you don't miss out on the next video from another bygone circuit from the past.